One second, hold up. In Louisiana, slave descendants are trying to keep a company from building a $400 million grain elevator along the Mississippi River using corrupt rezoning used for industrial industry for decades. Watch this.
In 1991, control of this historic land in Louisiana was extorted from residents and handed to industry by former St. John Parish President Lester Millett Jr. He was convicted for the criminal backroom deal, but the illegal zoning was never corrected. Today, San Francisco developer Christopher James is exploiting this corrupt zoning to build the Wallace grain elevator, which would bring even more pollution to Cancer Alley. Chris James enjoys praise for his climate activism in his Green Sonoma Valley vineyard. Meanwhile, the massive grain terminal he's pushing on St. John threatens the air we breathe and the waters of Lake Des Solomons. Families who have owned land in the surrounding neighborhoods for over a century have been shut out of the planning and approval process. If Christopher James is serious about social responsibility, how come our voices don't matter to him? Let's send the message that we deserve better.
Gentlemen, now Dr. Joy Banner, the co-founder of the Descendants Project from Wallace, Louisiana. All right, so first and foremost, we've been talking about this Cancer Alley, and how were y'all able to stop this project from moving forward?
So, like the commercial stated, we really didn't have prior notice of this, almost only until a public notice was released in March. So when we found out about this in March 2021, we had to immediately start organizing. Our parish didn't tell us anything, even though there was communication between Greenfield and council members and other governmental agencies about this. We were not given that information. So we had to organize pretty quickly. And what we did to stop it is we immediately let the community know. We gave the transparency that Greenfield and our parish should have given us. And since then, we have two sets of attorney teams that's representing us. We have Tulane Environmental Law Clinic that is helping us push back against the permits that Greenfield is applying for. And then we have the Center for Constitutional Rights that is representing us for our lawsuit against St. John the Baptist Parish. So again, it is engaging the community, making sure that our voices are heard. And then also, looking at understanding that the public process, the rights that are due us that we should have had, we should be able to go to our council meetings and be able to put this on the agenda and have a discussion about this. But since that wasn't happening, after we appealed to our council members in our parish to communicate with us and that wasn't happening, then we went forward with the lawsuit.
And so how is this also galvanizing other people who are not descendants to stop these type of projects from moving forward?
Right, and so this is not necessarily about us as descendants, but it is environmental racism. So the reason why we center the descendant community so much is because we are in, Louisiana's Cancer Alley, which is also the same geographic area as plantation country. So we have, along the Mississippi River outside of Louisiana, outside of New Orleans, there were hundreds of plantations that were there. And after emancipation, you had still these, tight networks of people that were enslaved on these plantations or ancestors that were enslaved that ended up locating right next to these plantations. And so that's why the fact that we are a descendant community is something that is not unique to our small community, but is, representative of so many people along, that 83-mile stretch of river that's known as Cancer Alley, and that we're predominantly Black. And so this is, environmental racism. I also call it environmental classism because I think people see certain communities and believe that we're not able to fight back.
So, so what's next for you?
So at the moment, we are waiting, for the response from the judge who denied Greenfield's motion to dismiss our case. And we are definitely looking forward to being able to have this case heard and the merits of the case to be discussed. There are so many contradictions in the zoning, which is there to protect us and to protect public safety. And it is very, very discouraging. It's very frightening that the parish, even though we have pointed out, via their own information, that we have so much inconsistencies in the zoning, in the buffer zones that are supposed to be designed to protect us, that there's so many that's conflicting information. There's erroneous information. There are things that are against what our ordinances say they should be, and so our safety is at risk. And so we are looking forward to that all coming out in the court.
All right, then. Well, look, we surely appreciate it. Keep up the good fight. Thank you so very much. All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. Folks, Black Star Network is here.
Oh, no punches!
I'm real revolutionary right now.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America, Roland.
Stay black. I love y'all.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, this difference between Black Star Network and Black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be Black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig?